I currently manage around $100 million worth of revenue within all of the businesses that we oversee in the high ticket space. These are 7 and 8 figure companies that are selling either a B2C or a B2B program. We manage and oversee their sales teams. And I currently work with some of the best marketers, some of the best media buyers, CMOs in the high ticket space. And these guys are incredible at acquiring leads through organic and paid. So what my job in these companies that we oversee is a chief revenue advisor. So I see front-end revenue, back-end revenue. I oversee sales managers, CSDs. I oversee a lot of the work that media buyers do. And my job is to really get the best out of sales teams. And I've got 3 tactics today that you're going to implement into your acquisition system for sales and marketing. And you've probably not heard them before. The first one is a congruent customer journey. Now, you will think, well, my journey is solid. We have our marketing, we have our landing pages, ads, we've got all these things, all these assets that we have, and then we got the sales team. And I can tell you this, around 12 7 and 8 figure companies paid me for a sales audit for $2,500 in November and December. And I went through all of their customer journey with them. So we shared the screen. We were on a call for around an hour to an hour and 15. And the first thing that we did was go through their acquisition system before their sales team activity later on in the call. And when we looked at their ads, we looked at their VSL, we looked at their customer journey, we looked at what their setter says when we mystery shop them, we looked at what the closer says. It was a broken journey every single time. Let's say you've got a message right now in your ads and you're promoting some sort of guarantee, some sort of fix, you've got some sort of offer. Then they click onto your landing page. When they go onto your landing page, that's pretty solid. The ad and the landing page are congruent. It links on. And by the way, some businesses still drop the ball, and the smaller businesses under 3 million sometimes don't even have this tied up properly. Then after this, you've got the setter who's going to be speaking to the customer straight after the inquiry. I'll ask you this, how often when you make changes to your ads, your landing pages, your promise under your landing page, any of the assets in the marketing, do you show them to the setters? When we asked all of these businesses that we do a sales audit with, and all the companies that we oversee, they do this. They have a weekly meeting where there's a sales and marketing sync, where sales and marketing sync up any changes that were made in the last week. And then a Loom video and an update gets sent to the setter channel, because we don't need the setter turning up to every meeting. Sometimes if we change the message and we do a big change, a 180 change, we'll tell all the setters we'll do a full meeting. But you've got to be able to tell your setters exactly what you're changing in your ads and why it's going to benefit them and how they should sell it differently and how they should word it differently. Even their tonality needs to change. So appointment setters are the first point of contact after the opt-in comes in. So many people change their ads, they change the landing page, and then they don't tell the setters. And when the setters call, and they're still calling on a previous script, on a previous angle, their journey is broken straight away. And this is happening a lot, which is why it's the first win that we get on the business. We just make the journey congruent and their sales go up. People will often think, oh, you didn't train our setters, you didn't do any one-on-one sessions with them, or you didn't do anything more than tactical plays with our setter manager on how to manage the team, but the sales have gone up. Well, what we did was we pointed out the obvious thing, that your journey is not congruent. When you have a congruent journey, you will sell more, because the same words the customer sees on the ad are the same words they're going to see when the appointment's there. And it leads me on to my next tactic. It's actually tied together. The mechanism. So the mechanism that you promote in your ads or in your VSL of how you're going to help them. You've probably come up with a system. In our business, we use something called a Sales Leaders OS. It wasn't a marketing mechanism, it's just a system that I used over the last 10 years, and it ended up being our marketing mechanism as well. But your mechanism, is that being taught to your closers? Do your closers continuously have refreshers on your mechanism? Because when they're presenting to the customer, it's another part of the journey. The first point was about the setters, and now it's on the closers. The closers are doing 2 things on the call. They're selling the outcome, someone getting the results. But the second thing they're selling is the method, which is the mechanism of how you will get them results. So let's say you had some sort of fitness offer. Step 1 is X, step 2 is this, step 3 is this. Whatever the steps are, they're shown in the ads in the VSL. Then that same journey needs to be shown by the closer, because that ties together that open loop, because they have seen it in the VSL. And you probably know most people don't watch your VSL before the call, but they have seen the mechanism somewhere. They might have seen it on your organic, they might have seen it on your paid, they might have seen it in your ads. Wherever they've seen it, they then see it again on the closer, and it clarifies to them on how they will buy. A lot of people out there, they are outcome-based buyers because everyone pays you for the result, but many people want to know the detail of the mechanism. I myself, as I've got more experienced, when I buy someone's program, I want to say, what is going to happen there? I recently jumped onto a call with someone running a mastermind, and it was a 2-day mastermind. And the promise was, at the end of this mastermind, you're going to have your personal brand done for you. It's going to be built. You're going to have clarity on your personal brand. Great. So then I asked on the sales call, so at this mastermind, how will you actually get me the results? What will actually happen? And then when they load up the offer doc, the how seemed so vague. I knew the event wasn't truly planned. Because if they had planned the product, they then would be able to show me that on the call. And I knew It's a new offer, it's a new product, it's something that they just scurry together really quickly just to be able to sell it. And they probably would have done a good job. I might have gone there, made some good connections and been happy. But I've learned that everything good takes time to build. A good product takes time to build. That time that they spend building them, the mechanism that they finish with, is what's shown to the customer. This is how we reap results. When I read the book Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell, I saw the mechanism of how he does it and how he hires an EA and what he does, because I hired an EA using his playbook and it explained the how. And now if Dan is selling any sort of program, I'm more likely to buy it. I know his method. I agree with his method. If he was to offer one-on-one coaching, I'd probably pay it because I know his method works. You have to be able to link the method all the way throughout the journey. So the first point was about your setters carrying on the message. The second point was the mechanism. Your setters and your closers reinforce the mechanism throughout the journey. So when your setter calls up, they reinforce that mechanism. The last point, I'm going to keep really brief for you because it's something that you just need a reminder on. Sometimes you click onto these videos and you think, I need to be taught new things. And I'm going to tell you something. If you use Go High Level, look at when your last few leads came in, click onto the leads, then click onto what time they were called. It will shock you on how slow that loop is. You think you've got speed to lead. If you've got HubSpot, you can set up a speed to lead dashboard. You think you've got good speed to lead, but I promise you don't. The first thing that we fix in every business is speed to lead. And sometimes it means cutting the team down, changing standards, rewriting SOPs, rewriting the KPIs. There's a whole thing about retraining the whole team on getting it done the right way. And when you can get your team not only to sell really well with the mechanism and all the stuff that we discussed, but to just call the leads as quickly as possible, it will change your business. It's the simplest, easiest win to call the leads as quickly as possible. So all I want you to do, go into your CRM, look at your last 10 leads, what time they came in and what time they got called. That will show you how much money you're losing. And then you need to put together a mechanism on how to actually call them. If you want to see exactly how to build these lists and how to actually get your setters to call leads as quickly as possible, I'll link a video on the right hand side here so you can watch it and it will show you the detail of that. And if you want more tips, more of our resources, there's a link below where you can join our free community, My Sales Manager, and you can take a bunch of free resources that we normally charge for. I'll catch you in the next video.